Hello and welcome to another edition of Nice to Meet You, Union Athletics. This is Eric McDowell, and thank you for joining me for our special program as we tell the story of the extraordinary student athletes at Union College. Now, this is not just a show about their efforts in the playing arena, but it's also about the special things they do in the community and in the classroom. And our guest today is Amy Loya, a sophomore from Bethel, Connecticut, who majors in bioengineering and electrical engineering with the women's basketball team. Amy, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Great to have you with us today. Now, we are all looking forward to your junior season on the basketball court because last season ended with a great effort on the road against an undefeated team in the league at St. Lawrence. I'll never forget that game.
No, I think I can speak on behalf of the whole team and say that we won't forget that either. It seems like just yesterday we were up at St. Lawrence at the Liberty League tournament, the semifinal game, and 56-55 is something that I can definitely still picture in my mind, and I know that the rest of the girls do too. So if anything, that gives us a lot of motivation to work twice as hard for this season.
It was a great effort. Now, this taping was done just a week after you went to Atlanta, Georgia for a biomedical engineering conference. Talk to us about that experience.
A group of students who I worked with over the summer doing research, as well as our research advisors, Professor Bouma and Professor Curry, Professor Bouma from electrical engineering and Professor Curry from bioengineering. We went down to Atlanta to the Biomedical Engineering Conference to present our research in the form of a poster session. And my project specifically was it was based on photoacoustic microscopy, which is comparable to functional ultrasound imaging. So applications of that have to do with imaging oxygenated versus deoxygenated blood vessels and things like that. So
I'm glad you could say that, not me.
I'm trying.
Say that again.
Photoacoustic microscopy.
That's impressive.
I can spell it if you want.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
The Scrabble, though, I'll use it. Definitely.
Okay, deal.
That's amazing. Now, tell us about your union professors and who have assisted you. You mentioned a couple, but there's others as well, who have assisted you during your academic career in the bioengineering and electrical engineering, and other experiences that you've had here at Union, including, I want to hear more about that Best Buddies Club.
Sure. Well, for one thing, I really look up to Professor Curry as a professor. She went to RPI for her undergrad and her graduate degree. However, she's really involved with the department, and her research is on bone development. But as a woman in the field, she's definitely a role model that I can look up to. And I'm actually working with her to start a biomedical engineering society at Union College, because there isn't currently one since the major is relatively new. So that's another thing we got to do at the conference. Was we went to a series of workshops to help learn how to start a chapter at Union. So she's been definitely a mentor for me. And then as far as Best Buddies, just to familiarize you with the program, it's an organization dedicated to establishing one-to-one friendships with people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And the mission of the organization is basically to promote social independence and independence out in the workforce and et cetera. And so our way to kind of contribute to that mission is to hold events on campus and match our college students up with members of the community who have intellectual disabilities. And we'll do things such as go bowling, we'll have holiday parties. We have a nutrition week where a nutritionist comes in and teaches them some simple, healthy meals that they can make at home. And then we'll follow that up with, attendance at a hockey game or a women's basketball game or something like that.
How fun is that? It's rewarding for them, but also for you. It's amazing, isn't it?
It definitely is. It's definitely a mutual friendship, and that's kind of the idea of the organization. They take as much out of it as you do, and that's definitely something that we look to do.
And you said it's a new major. Where I went to college, we had a new major in communications, which helped me in cases like this for the show. So when you came in with a new major, they really put a lot of time into you, didn't they?
Yes, they did. They recently just went through a rigorous accreditation process, so we were involved with that. They're constantly looking for ways to improve the curriculum and find out best classes to offer for us, and they're learning from other schools. That was another thing that we did in going to the conference in Atlanta, was we talked to other professors and other schools who have an established department, and so they've been awesome, really accommodating in terms of getting our major fulfilled.
Well, your timing's great because you're going to help future majors who aren't here right now in high schools because of your efforts, so we thank you for that. Now, your team had an amazing cultural experience this summer. What a wonderful opportunity. Talk to us about the Costa Rica trip.
Our team got the opportunity to travel to Costa Rica and stay there for about 10 days. Of course, we played 3 games of basketball against the University of Costa Rica, the Costa Rican national team, and a club team. But for those 7 other days, we really put our time into team building and also community service as well. Coach Burt and Coach Smith led the efforts in that. Specifically for community service, we worked at a school for members of the community whose income is less than $400 a month. So you were only allowed to be enrolled in that school if your parents' income was less than that. And it was definitely an experience that we won't forget. It was touching to see how happy these kids were to just see these outsiders, you know, these 6-foot girls from who knows where that were just letting them climb all over us and dance and sing songs or whatever. And, you know, it really taught us to value the gift of time, you know, just spending time with people and, you know, getting to know them is enough. And so we did what we could. And we also did bring down some donations, such as, you know, coloring books, towels, toiletries, just stuff that they had requested.
Things we take for granted that they don't have.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
And I know Coach Smith was so excited when he came by, and Coach Bird after the trip. They had so much fun, not just seeing the team come together, but it was like you were WNBA stars down there.
Oh, definitely, definitely, yeah. It's a totally different style of basketball, so that's definitely something we had to adjust to. But the girls were very accommodating from the other team, and it was an awesome experience to be playing our sport and share that common ground in a culture so different from ours.
Now, your Hurricane Irene volunteer work, the Toys for Tots, the Habitat for Humanity, you do wonderful, rewarding work off the court. You really enjoy that, and it's special.
That's something that's really special to me. As you said, it's something that I've kind of grown up doing, is just, you know, constantly giving back to people and, you know, doing what you can to help others. And honestly, those values transfer over to the women's basketball team. I know Coach Burt really instills the fact that we should get ourselves out there and help the community too as a basketball team, and it's become a part of our culture now to just seek ways to help others and think of ways that we can continue to put ourselves out there.
And you've only been here 2 years. That's what's amazing, is that there's a lot more ahead of you. So
oh, definitely.
I'm very excited. I know you had a great preseason, Amy. I'm excited to see you on the court, but we're also excited to see all the other things that you're doing as well. So thanks so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
It was nice to meet you, Amy Loya, and we thank you for joining us for our show, Nice to Meet You, Union Athletics, the great stories of our student athletes at Union College. This is Eric McDowell. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day.
Proctor's, bringing the best in arts, education, and entertainment.